It's the Luton Town show coming at you from the Bricklayer's Arms in the heart of Hightown. Beer and breakfast at the Brickies. I've got Wedge.
I love an alliteration. That's
beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, well, my mum was an English teacher, so I've been taught to use good. I'm quite well spoken. I've been told. Bit posh.
Yeah, too posh for Luton.
Well, I pronounce the T in Luton. Otherwise, my mum would go mad at me. But anyway, I got Wedge.
You could be back.
I got Phil. Could be back.
We're over the moon to have Wedge back with his wonderful literal skills.
My mother wasn't an English teacher.
That's the problem with having beers for breakfast at the Brickies. There you go. I dropped the alliteration again. Because then people like Wedge can't talk.
It is good to be back.
Oh, well spent. Well spent. well spoken. Very, very eloquent. And Phil, how are you getting on, mate?
Yeah, I'm okay, mate. I might be a bit quiet today. I'm just thoroughly depressed. I've spoken about Luton a lot this week. Done a number of different shows this week, and I'm so tired of this football club, man.
It's the same thing every single week, isn't it? We could literally do the same show and just rerun it every single time.
I mean, for me, I just said it off air. It's the thing that I'm trying to cling to some hope to is obviously yesterday we obviously lost. I think that the vast majority of fans would know that going away to Turf Moor is about as tough as they come. We obviously made a few changes, maybe to freshen it up, maybe to keep some legs in there. And I think that we've just got to prioritise the game against Cardiff midweek, because that's a huge 6 pointer. That's as big as they come. And reality of it is that we're not going to be able to play the lineup, should I say, that we had against Pompey, where we got 3 points, because Naismith's brain dead. And he's ended up costing us a long afternoon, where a lot of legs will have put a lot more kilometres into them than they would have hoped for. But I would imagine that was Bloomfield's reasoning for sort of slight change up in the team, that we've got to prioritise Cardiff. An act of, like I say, just stupidity has made it for a really tough afternoon. And obviously, as Luton fans, and we can say it on this particular show, as Luton fans, a rubbish weekend again.
Yeah, it really does ruin it, doesn't it? Yeah. Did Bloomfield get it right, taking off Liam Walsh and putting on Mark McGuinness? Obviously, Mark McGuinness opened the scoring with a clinical strike into our own net. Yeah. But did he invite too much pressure?
I mean, bringing McGuinness on.
Well, going not sort of changing the shape, but reverting back to a back three, taking off a midfielder. It invites a lot more pressure.
He had to sacrifice someone, didn't he?
Yeah.
He had to sacrifice someone. You can't lose your centre defensive linchpin and not replace him. I think that he had to do that, but whether or not he took the right person off, that's I mean,
someone's got to be taken off, and I think it needs to be someone probably further up the pitch.
Yeah, I agree.
So that we're still more compact in the middle. And you invite pressure on, you're going to have pressure against Burnley, whether you've got 10 or 11 men. Mm. I think maybe taking Liam Walsh, who would get stuck in, and probably would maybe, I mean, it's not very often Liam Walsh is on a team with 10 men and he's not the 11th man that's been sent off. But I think he'd be able to get more stuck in.
I would have taken Elijah Adebayo off.
I'd taken Nelson off.
Yeah, you can take one of the attackers off.
Yeah.
Not a midfielder who has debatably been one of our better players over the past few weeks.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I agree. Got that wrong. Completely wrong. But then he got the other subs kind of right. He took off Clark, took off Doughty pretty much on the hour mark, and took off Isaiah Jones a little bit late. Mm. Kind of just all hands on deck for Cardiff now.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. And it has to be. We spoke on the Championship chat. We recorded first today about Cardiff are showing that they're not getting hammered in games. That's the thing that I would say about Cardiff, and that they'll know the importance of it, because if they beat us on Tuesday night under the lights at their place, they'll think that jobs
really
are good.
Opens up a gap, doesn't it?
I mean, that's an enormous gap with 9 games there. And we've said it before.
They'll take it to 8 points, 8 or 9.
With 9 to play.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. We're not outscored. I mean, I think it's done now. I feel like last week was a bit of a false dawn, and it gave us the hope. And I'm not saying that necessarily, like I say, it's changed. I said it at the very start. I felt like we were going to lose today, but you want to go into Cardiff putting up some fight and being in a position where we think that we can go away and do something. So I just hope that those subs that you just said, that you just mentioned about having Clark off, Walsh will be fresh, Doughty's got an extra half an hour. Like there's a few players there that are important that we can look forward to hopefully putting in a good performance on Tuesday. But in terms of performances, I don't mean to sort of direct the show, guys, but one performance I wanted to highlight, and it's not actually Cal Naismith. I've said about how silly that was, but how poor was Amari Bell? Like he's been roasted for goal 3 and 4.
You were debating me about that. I said he was at fault for all 4, and you were saying just 3 and 4.
I would say number 3 and 4 were more blatantly his fault. I think that if you were to go back in it, and I like I say, I think you could probably make justification for his role in it. I think the thing that annoys me, and I don't know what your two thoughts on this. Me and Ollie last week, Wedge, we spoke about the optics of how players look, and I spoke positively about Jordan Clark. Saying
Always
he's a
up
natural
for it.
footballer. He looks up for it, and he looks good on the ball. I actually spoke about Nordas and how, and I'm not going to dig out Nordas, like I say, but you're right. He doesn't pass the sort of eye test. To me, just doesn't hit the eye right. Amari Bell looks like he is walking at running at 40% pace.
He doesn't get close to his man.
No,
at
and
all.
you can't close down like so slowly and rely on your burst of pace to be getting like the goal side of the man. He just got breezed past yesterday.
He's
so
a man
easily.
that's been affected by the injury, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he is. He is a shadow of his
He'll always
former
turn
self.
up for Jamaica though, and Steve McLaren always turns up for Jamaica.
Yeah, but as in performance-wise, or
both?
He
goes there when he's not fit for us, and he's gone over and played for Jamaica when he was coming back from his injury. And he's one of Jamaica's more important players.
But then you look at the kind of teams that Jamaica are playing. I'm guessing he's not really putting in 100% over there as well, and he's able to get away with it. But over here,
you can't do that in the Championship when you've got
tough.
pacey players to play against. He got absolutely roasted twice yesterday. And people can have a bad day. I get that, but I think that when you look at how goals that we concede, they very often come from that left-hand side of ours. And I'm not going to dig him out and say he's personally responsible for all of this. But yesterday, I just didn't think that was good enough. And I think that it was quite telling that he came out and did the interview afterwards. He did a player interview.
I didn't even bother watching that. I saw his face and was like, no.
I saw some of I'll be honest with you, I had a look at the comments first, and he was getting absolute pelters because
I hope he was.
It was a case of, you basically just paying us lip service, saying the same stuff, saying that you're up for it, and then you provide a performance like that. And ultimately, I didn't go yesterday. I wasn't motivated to go up to Burnley because I just felt like it was a lot, and that's my bad. But I just think it's worth giving a nod to those guys that are continuously going around, because this is as depressing as it gets. We've spoken before about relegations that we've had, and I think this is the worst. It's the worst feeling I've ever had as a Luton fan, and that includes -30, it includes being in the conference, it includes numerous attempts in the conference and absolutely ballsing it up. But this one feels just god awful.
The resources at our disposal.
Yeah, not. There's nothing that's happened this season where we've been able to cling on to as a positive. Like, there's been no kind of investment really in quality players coming into the squad. Yeah, they made 8 transfers or 8 signings in January, but
7. Yeah, well, Lamine Fanny joined in January. No. It's the club propaganda line where they keep saying 8 in January. No, one of them was in the summer. Lamine Fanny, he turns up thinking he's going to be joining a promotion battle, and he finally arrives. Under Rob Edwards. Same with Tom Krause, who was part of a team that overturned a Bayern Munich side yesterday, by the way. He thought he was coming into a promotion battle under Rob Edwards, and it's like sort of Rob Edwards' carbon copy gone wrong.
But that's, even that signing, there's a bizarre one that you sign someone and you can't play him for another 4 months. A lot of football happens in 4 months, and you can say, this is what we expect to happen, but that is never going to be a foregone conclusion that we're going to be what we've kind of proposed to a player. So that's a strange signing, but no one we've had come in and you thought, this is a person which will take this team forward, will kind of instill confidence and kind of be our save of the season.
Grab the rest of us by the scruff of the
neck.
I
thought that would be Asgard. I thought it would be Asgard, but the thing is, we can't get him into games at all.
No.
We're terrible at that. Playing through midfield, we resort to just booting it upfield. And you can't have a player as wonderful as Asgard and not have him touch the ball for large swathes of the match.
And you look at kind of some of the comments that Bloomfield's make, apologising to Bowler because, we brought him in to play a system, and then he's had to change. Bloomfield's had to change how he wants to play based on the players he's got. And, you bring in a manager and, he wants to make his mark. And he's not been able to make
He's
his
gone
mark.
back to the 3-5-2, which is pathetic.
Wasn't working for us.
We brought in a
before.
load of wide people, Millie Ali, Josh Bowler, Thello Asgard. We're not playing the system that... We brought in a manager that plays 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1.
Yeah. And, as a manager, if you're not going to stick to your guns and play the way that you want to play... there's... If you're a good footballer, you should be able to work in different positions. Adapt is the word that you need. And if your manager wants you to play here, if you're an attacking midfielder, you should be able to play centrally or, as a left or a right forward. Maybe not as that number 9 like a Morris or an Adebayo, but you should be able to play in... Obviously, if you play... Thello Asgard, he's kind of more of the central linchpin, isn't he? But, he can play out wide as well. He's got either a right or a left foot. He can play either side, but he's just not been able to do that because Bloomfield's just gone not playing how he wants to play.
The only player that's actually getting game time in a position that they can play is Isaiah Jones.
Yeah.
And he looks levels above.
Yeah.
But, then you send in a ball and Colton Morris is standing right next to him. Yeah. Sending in a ball, where's Colton?
On the bench yesterday, mate. That was outside the dugouts were.
No, I'm talking about other games. You send in a ball. There's no one in the middle because the strikers have decided to split and go other sides of the box, and so we can create when we do create, which is not very much,
rare.
But there's
rare.
Yeah, because no one's in the bloody middle of the box.
There's a number of reasons. It's just
I've said it every single week. We just don't get that. Whenever we have possession, we have one player, and there's never anyone, it seems, within 20 yards near him. And I don't know how you can have 10 outfield players, and every player who has the ball always seems completely isolated. I don't know how that happens. And because other teams play similar formations and things, and they just look
competent,
like they can play football.
Yeah,
they don't look like we can play football.
That's it.
Where is the footballing ability?
Well,
where is it?
You watch the other, like you say, you watch other teams and you go, we don't do that. We don't do that.
And it looks so easy.
Yeah, and it looks so easy because they've been so well trained and coached.
We
and
just look drained.
We just look awful. We just look awful, and it sort of it brings to the fore the conversation about. So I spoke midweek to guys at the Turfcast, and I took a little bit of questioning and I took a little bit of abuse on the comments afterwards, which is fine. But about why I was feeling more hopeful under Bloomfield. Bear in mind, he's only won one game with us than I was with Rob Edwards, and I said that it was basically that injection of hope. I said and it's not necessarily based on him being the sort of messiah that's coming in and has changed things but the way that things were with Rob Edwards, it was a sinking ship, a fast sinking ship that felt poisonous to its sort of core. It felt like it was just an inevitability, and it took too long to actually come to fruition. So you get a new a new bounce in your mind, don't you? About there's a new manager coming in that's going to do something different, and there's new hope. It's not the same stuff.
So if we take that analogy of Rob Edwards was a sinking ship, Bloomfield's come in, got us in on the lifeboats.
Yeah,
and now they're sinking.
And now they've been popped. Yeah,
exactly.
And it might seem like it's an over exaggeration because, like I said it earlier on. The first thing I said was, the Burnley game. It might seem like there's an overreaction here because the Burnley game we're not expecting to win, but I just don't. Yeah, it's the manner of it. It's the hopelessness of, and we said it last week, Ollie, when it was just you and I. The win against Pompey we didn't set the world alight. Like it wasn't the one where I was looking at that performance going, let's go to Burnley. Like it was nothing that was particularly sort of like the battle was there.
The metal
was there. Yeah, but
if we can do that,
we'll
signs of old Luton.
Yeah. But ultimately, I look at the way that we still play football when it's not a battle and think that's not good enough, and it brings to mind like what do we do with Bloomfield at the end of the season? What happens? Like it's scary as a Luton fan.
We did the
keep go
list last week, and a lot of people agreed with what you said, and I think there were quite a few. I think it was 10, 12 that you said go.
Yeah, I
don't think that's enough.
Yeah, I mean there was certainly a few there that I was kind.
And get rid of analysts. Get rid of. I know when you go from Champo to League One, people have to lose their jobs. I think, sadly, that is going to be the case.
And that's what I'm saying. It's scary. Yeah. What happens now?
The thing is,
do you know what I mean? There's so much
could play in League One, but I just don't think you can have the kind of personality, maybe not personalities, but the attitude that they're playing with now and the frame of mind that they've been in for so long. You can't keep that and go into another league. You do have to have a clear out.
Yeah. What do you guys? I'm putting you on the spot here, but what do you guys think about Bloomfield staying? Because he will obviously, and so will the club probably argue. Look at his record in League One. Look at what he did with Wickham. He can get us out of this league. Look at where they are. But equally, he would have been with us by the time to start the season. He'd been with us for over half a year. And granted, in a different league, and you would like to think that he'd be backed in the summer to some extent if he was to stay.
There'll be a lot of revenue coming in from the players that'll be going.
Yeah,
hopefully.
But do you just say, actually, so, thanks, Matt, it was a venture that didn't work out, i.e. you were local, you cost us on the cheap,
and
thanks very much. But is it a case of, do we say, thanks very much, but we need to go in a completely different direction? Do we need to have...
It's pros on both sides, isn't there, with that? Obviously, Bloomfield, it will give him a summer to get his team in the shape that he wants and get players that he wants, keep players he wants, get rid of players he doesn't want, and he can try and hit the ground running with a real fresh feeling around the club, hopefully. And I wouldn't blame anyone for wanting to keep Bloomfield and giving him a good shot, because let's be honest, we have put him in a situation where I don't think it was the right time for him to come to Luton. Not at all. But also I can understand, at the end of the season we've been relegated and the board need to make up for things which have and haven't happened this season, and literally just be like, right, brand new season, brand new start. That happens from the manager to the players to backroom staff, and we just completely clear out. I can see both sides of it.
I don't think we can get rid of Bloomfield. I think Bloomfield has to stay. Players need to go. Gary Sweet needs to step down as CEO. That won't happen, but I think football operations need to go to someone else that isn't part of the boys' club. Look at what happened with Sheffield United with Wilder. So Wilder came in last season for Sheffield United. The performances improved. The results didn't. They were still losing most weeks. But he had pretty much the last third of the season similar to what Bloomfield has here. And then he had a clear out. And then he brought in his players, a lot of low knees, but he brought in his players, and he's got them firing because he knows the Championship. He's, obviously Middlesbrough fans will beg to differ and Watford fans will beg to differ, but providing the manager gets his say on who he gets, then fair plays, happy days. But I'm worried he's a bit of a yes man. That's the problem. We need someone that will push back on Gary Sweet if Gary Sweet doesn't step down from football operations. I don't see Gary Sweet stepping down from football operations unless the board of directors decide to remove him from them, but they won't because they're all his mates. They've been together for like 15 years. He's steered the club through good times. They've all had good times together. So yeah, they're not going to exit Gary Sweet, but they've all collectively effed up by not exiting Rob Edwards sooner.
Yeah, and it's depressing to think that we are basically back to 8 years ago, 9 years ago, back in League One, having to rebuild
and instead
squad.
A lot more money.
Like that,
with the trajectory when we were last in League One it was sort of like slowly creeping upwards. We've taken a big hit. Now we've got to steady it, and then the squad is going to have to be, like you say, completely rebuilt. And then it's hard work. Like even going back into, you look at the likes of Derby this year that have come back up from League One. It's hard to and
you get a worse quality of player.
You get a worse quality player. You've then got to consolidate. Think back to about when we had to come back up into the Championship and just how hard that was. That slog of Graham Jones, and then obviously like getting it over the line with Nathan when he came back after COVID. But it's a culmination of 2, 3, 4 seasons to get back into a competitive situation. So you're looking at the situation kind of going, if we go down, like it's going to be 4, 5, 6 years of hard work, and there's no guarantees.
Yeah, when you come back up, as you say, it's a battle.
Yeah,
every week is a battle just to stay in the league.
You go further up the leagues. Obviously, we were part of it last year, which seems like a million years ago. But you look at what's gone on last year. The 3 that went up went down. You look at it this year. The 3 that went up, at least 2 of them are definitely coming down, if not all 3 again.
Especially you look at the amount of money that Ipswich has spent.
And Ipswich 110 odd million, something like that, and they're still getting turned over each week. So the gap is enormous, absolutely enormous, and that will filter down. That will, make no doubt about it, that will filter down.
The gap gets wider and wider.
Because you're going to have those yo-yo clubs. You're going to have the likes of Burnley, Sheffield United, Leeds, Leicester. Like you look at Southampton, the teams that have got the resources by being a yo-yo club, but they are mighty in the Championship. And then you've got the sort of chase impact behind them that are able to sustain in the Championship. The sides that never seem to flirt with relegation, but they're always there, you know. And then you've got the ones that we are now part of that one that could be sort of in that. So it's going to be really, really bloody hard to come back up and be okay.
I mean,
if we can come back up.
They just voted for bigger losses as well in the Championship. So the clubs that don't mind running in a deficit, they're going to be running at a larger deficit now.
It's horrendous, isn't it? But yeah, you're looking at Premier League Championship. I mean, you look at League One, and the teams that are still in League One who haven't been able to
Premier League, Blackpool, Bolton, Charlton, Barnsley. They've all had their time in the not so distant future, and look at them. They're sort of languishing in League One.
You look at Reading and Wigan and
I mean,
go further down, Bradford.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, it's.
I'll tell you what, they're having a great. I mean, they lost yesterday, but they've had a great few.
Maybe they'll be back up to League One.
They'll be in League One next season. Yeah,
but that's it. Like we're not going back down into League One, and it's going to be a cakewalk.
No.
Not by a long stretch. Not when you consider the turnover.
Since it's been renamed League One, we've only been in it for 3 seasons.
2 promotions and 1 relegation.
Exactly. So what do you think is going to happen? We're either
League 2.
Yeah, League 2 home.
No.
Yeah, we either
Let's have some fun.
We either go up first time of asking, or we go down because we don't stick around in League One. We're either going through the trap.
Really.
Yeah,
not really.
Well, I would have thought with all the revenue that we have, and yes, I know a lot of it has gone to power courts, being ring fenced. Like, look, face it, if we weren't promoted to the Premier League, power court would probably be 10, 20 years away. It has helped. It has helped, and I thank the board for that.
Yeah,
because that's tremendous.
Yeah,
it really is. You know, my wife might actually come to a game of at Luton when we're at Power Court because she's heard stories about the Kenilworth Road toilets and she will never come to Kenilworth Road because she does not want to step foot in one of those toilets.
Go to the Oak Road. They got
have you seen like the state of
the new ones that were?
So a Pompey fan put a picture up online and one of the walls was just covered in black mold in the Oak Road end. Oh. No, it wasn't in the Oak Road end. It was in the Bobbers. Like even newer. They've literally been put in fresh and there was just wall of black mold in the brand new toilet.
When we sat in the Bobbers for the Bolton game in the Cup, I was sitting there and I remember thinking, right, where's the toilet? There was one toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the bigger worry rather than the toilets is you made a good point about the fact that someone might actually come, but there's going to be a lot of people that think with their feet and don't come.
Oh yeah, the average attendance, like I think when we all started going, Lenny Lawrence era, average attendance was 6,000. Yeah, but maybe 6,000 if we're lucky. It was 5,000.
Yeah.
That's how I got my season ticket. Because no one was going.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful time.
I remember standing outside the front of the main stand when there was like a burger bar that wasn't actually a burger. Do you remember that? Like outside the front where the sort of like where they've now got the Kenny Henny, there was an actual burger bar that sort of took its room. I remember going to that, and you would just have so much room. Yeah. there would be so much room in and around the Kenny. You'd be like,
there'll be a lot more room next year.
There will be. Yeah. There will be. It'll go back.
A lot of people aren't going to be coming back.
No,
I can't blame them.
No. What do they do with season ticket prices next year?
Oh, they'll be going up. Don't you worry.
You reckon?
No, I don't know. They can't raise it. Like, hey, I know we've had back-to-back relegations, but we're going to
They cannot raise it. No way in a million years. It should be the other way around. Sorry about that absolute shower that you've had to deal with for the last 12 months. Have 50 quid off.
They got to cover the revenue drop. I know like our first parachute payment is paid at the end of this season, and then we get one more at the end of next season. But that's it.
And then you're back to the business model we had before.
Yeah, but the scariest thing, and I mentioned it in my post-match reaction, it's the wages. So in the Premier League, our average wage was 25, maybe 30,000, between 25 and 30,000, which is massive for Luton. Yeah, that is massive for Luton.
And the season before, was it our top wager was Union O'Kane with like 12,000, wasn't it?
15. Probably. Maybe. Union O'Kane. One game Kane. To be honest, he was a tremendous footballer. It was very unfortunate that leg break.
But like people like Pelly and Berry, they're on like 6-7 grand a week.
I think they got promotion wage rises. So the players that came through.
Yeah, I'm talking about the year before that when we were in
League One,
in the Championship.
Oh, in the Championship, yeah.
Before we got promoted, the gap had between the wages.
Even when we got promoted, we had one of the lower wage bills in the Championship, like comfortably bottom 10. Whereas now we are top 6. I would say, even with the 30% wage drop, in the Premier League, 25 to 30k. So all the players I've heard had a 30% wage drop. So if you're earning 30k, that's a 9k drop. So now players are on 21k. Someone earning 30k last season, now on 21k. So let's say they have another 30% drop. So that's a drop of 6 grand. Yeah. Down to 15. 15k a week in League One. That's not sustainable.
Yeah. Your name's not Stansfield.
But you know what? Birmingham, St Andrews has 25k capacity? Yeah. Double what we got.
Yeah.
We cannot sustain that. And the only way we can sustain that is increasing ticket prices, increasing season tickets, increasing revenue by any means necessary, unless they want to they want to eat that cost using some of the revenue from the parachute payments. But if we can't get rid of pretty much anyone that's earning over 10k, we are screwed. There is a financial meltdown coming, because if we stick around in League One for more than one season, we're screwed. You saw it in Sunderland Till I Die.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Rodwell conundrum.
And ultimately, footballers will look out for themselves, as they should. They're like, well, you tied me to a contract.
Exactly. Well, why would they walk away from a contract?
Unless they're going to walk into a new contract that's got at least equal terms, if not better, they're not going to worry about the overall state of the club. They're just going to be like, right, well, that's the wages that I'm earned. Either pay it off or see you later.
Yeah, you don't parachute payments for is just basically, well, you know what? Let's just cut ties.
But we need those parachute payments. We need them to build Power Court because it's more expensive now. Like no one would have said no to a 17,500 seat stadium that had the ability to be increased to 24k. We gone straight to a 25k. Many lounges, silver, gold, platinum, loads of lounges, hospitality.
I've got a lounge at home. I'll just watch. Actually, no, I won't be able to watch the game because it will be in League One and not on Sky Sports.
Yeah, it's alarming, and there's more to it than who goes, who stays.
Yeah,
what club staff that aren't playing staff, who goes. Like we are on a road to disaster, financial disaster. Like Victor Moses, he's got to be a big earner. Where has he been? Where is Victor Moses? Like, just because Bloomfield doesn't want to use him, he's eating. He's probably on 25k a year.
He wasn't setting the world light, but he's not.
Yeah,
no. Like I say, it's that decision to make him.
He had that one good game against Plymouth where we lost.
That's his first game.
Well, we were here.
Yeah,
we were here. Yeah, I missed his goal because I nipped to the toilet.
He was there.
I was there.
Depressing. You were fuming, weren't you?
I was. It took a large 12-inch cheese melt baguette on the way home for me to cheer up. I was thoroughly angry that day. As you can see, this needs fueling. So, anyway, can we stop talking about Luton now? Just
we'll wrap this up. You know, we've been going for half an hour. It's half an hour longer than we should be talking about Luton.
I was going to say, do we look forward to Cardiff? I know we can't look forward to it.
No. It's an away game.
Are we happy with a point away to Cardiff?
We endure and hope. No, we have to win.
No, it has to.
Have to win.
As the LTST keeps saying, they've said it about 8 times already in the past 10 weeks. Last chance saloon. Last chance saloon's long gone. You know the punters are pissed. The jukebox is full of piss. And there's a shit on the pool table. The last chance saloon is...
Phil won't be happy with that. He loves the pool table.
Yeah, I'll take it as a challenge, though.
It's got there is no last chance saloon. It's done. We need to win.
It's that
against the teams directly above us. We have to win those games now. But you know, everyone needs to just sort of come to terms with the fact that we are going down.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's the most avoidable relegation. If it doesn't happen,
and they need to clip this, whoever wants to have that argument, take it, and I will be absolutely over the moon. But yeah, it feels like it's done.
It's very strange, considering last season when we were in the Premier League, we kind of knew we were down, but we were still cheering and hopeful. Even when we needed to win 11-0 against Fulham to stay up on the last game of the season, we still had a spot. Even though we can mathematically really easily stay up, it's such a different...
Because of what we've seen.
It's...
Because of what we've seen.
Football.
Yeah, it's depressing. Let's turn the cameras off and change this stuff for some alcoholic stuff.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for watching. You know, if you're down in Luton, check out the Bricklayer's Arms. Like, you can watch the Luton games. They're on Sky. You might as well do that while we're in the Championship because...
it won't last forever.
Yeah, it won't. You know, in League One, it won't be on Sky Sports Plus. Oh, will it? I don't know. The
Sky Sports Plus you can.
No,
12:30 kickoffs you can.
Oh, wow. Well, maybe because Luton will be a big fish in the League One pond, maybe our games will be on Sky Sports Plus next season. But anyway, you'll be able to check them out here at the Bricklayer's Arms. Reminder as well, check out our pod sponsor, the Record Shop in Amersham. Check it out if you collect vinyl, CDs, guitars, good stuff. Best record shop in England, I would say. Yes, bold claim. I love bold claims. Absolutism. And a big thank you to Black Star Amplification for the audio toys that help us make the podcast. But yeah, everyone,
pray.
Have a good one.
On to Cardiff.
Come on, you Hatters.
Come on, you Hatters.